Hello everyone. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. I am Abir bin Rahman Bhuiya from School of Computing of Universiti Teknologi, Malaysia. Today I am here because of one project, final project of probability and statistical data analysis, which is known as PSDA. This is a course from computing department. So the project is about the analysis of automotive industry of Malaysia. Here the main objectives of this analysis are to explain the automotive industry in Malaysia and to clarify the important roles affecting the whole automotive industry in Malaysia. This case study include total automotive sectors, background history, export along with imports within a long period, and annual vehicle sales percentage. The outcome of this case study will reflect the importance of this industry, which plays one of the main roles in the economy of Malaysia. The background history is really fascinating, and now let's talk about the background history of Malaysian automotive industry. In the beginning of the early 1980s, the government of Malaysia announced that the direct involvement is needed to achieve the future industrial growth after to overcome losses during independence. So they provided the draft of National Car Project just after receiving the announcement. And after that, the automotive industry planned to focus on accelerating technology transfer, increasing and rationalizing local content, and including more and more entrepreneurs. As a result, the automotive industry is dominated by large amount of ethnic Chinese. After that, in May 1983, the first outcome of the National Car Project would give guide to the founder of Perusahaan Automobil Nasional SDN BCD, Proton, and just after the announcement, they launched Proton Saga in July 1985. The whole automotive industry in Malaysia responds with total 27 vehicle producers and more than 640 parts manufacturers. Among all of these achievements, one of the best achievement is this industry of Malaysia is the 23rd largest in the whole world and third largest in Southeast Asia. If we look inside Southeast Asia, then we can find the automotive industry of Malaysia is the individual initial of car companies named as Proton and Perodua, and by holding the hand of Proton, Malaysia became the 11th country among the whole world with the efficiency to perfectly design, engineer and manufacture cars from the ground up level. So this industry shares 40 billion ringgit or 4% to Malaysia's GDP. So these objectives of this case study are mainly to explain an example model of the automobile industry in Malaysia to clarify most eye-catching and important factors of automotive industry in Malaysia. The following sections will provide with the following videos. So the history of automotive industry of Malaysia is really fascinating because from the early 1980s until now, the history is really long. This history started in the British colonial time, and this concluded with the real Malaysian time. I mean, this isn't concluded, this is still running. So the thing is, the automotive industry in Malaysia comes from the lower place and now it's in a bigger place, which takes the bigger markets of the world, which runs now. The automotive industry of Malaysia is really have a good position now. So in my project, I explained about the history of the automotive industry in Malaysia, and I also explained the sales rate of cars in Malaysia. I I divided them into two parts. One is the passenger cars, which are the regular cars, and another is the luxury cars, such as BMW, Mercedes-Benz, Audi, etc. So I have checked all the things and all the selling rates, and then I have created a regression chart from my report, and I'm going to explain the regression chart now. So from the regression chart, you guys can easily understand about the selling rates of Malaysian automotive industry. Here, first of all, I have one dependent variable and 7 independent variables. So the dependent variable is volume, which refers to Y, which means this is a response variable, and the 7 independent variables are growth, passenger car sales annually, luxury car sales annually, and 2 example of passenger cars, Perodua and Proton, and 2 example of luxury cars, Mercedes-Benz and BMW. So these 7 independent variables are referred as X. X means the predictor. So here the year is taken from 2009 to 2019. This is 10 years. So we just see what's the difference between this year 2009 to 2019. If we look inside the volume, here the difference is 2009 the volume was 53,609.05, and if we see inside the 2019 it's 599,174. So this is the difference between 2009 to 2019. And if we see inside the growth, we can see the percentage. 2009 it was 2%, and 2019 it's 0.70%. So not that much growth. But in 2010 it's 12%, and in 2016 it's 13%, and in 2018 it's 5%. So we can say the growth. And from here, passenger cars annually, we can see the passenger cars, it's almost 96.80%. That means almost everyone is buying the passenger cars rather than the luxury cars. So everyone is going for the passenger cars, and in 2012 and 2013 the number is decreasing, so many people go for the luxury cars, and in 2019 again it's increased more than 2009, which means they are going for passenger cars again. So from the luxury cars, here we can see in 2009 it's 8,821, but in 2019 it's 22,489. So this is a really big difference between 2009 to 2019. That means everyone is also going for luxury cars also. That means many people are going for passenger cars and many people are going for the luxury cars. And for if we see inside the example of passenger cars, we can see in Perodua and Proton, we can see that the number in Perodua in 2009 34.30%, and Proton is 30.40%. This is almost the same, but in 2009 the Perodua is 43.70% and the Proton is 18.20%, which is really low from the Perodua. So people are willingly go to Perodua rather than the Proton, maybe because of the higher fuel consumption rate and the higher technology that they are using, and this is and also the outlooks, attractiveness, so everything. So people go for the Perodua rather than the Proton. And if we see inside the example of the luxury cars, we can see that in 2009 the Mercedes-Benz is 3,977 Mercedes-Benz was there, and 3,564 BMW was there, the selling rate. But in 2019 the Mercedes-Benz increased to 10,000 and the BMW increased to 9,300. So the Mercedes-Benz increased more than the BMW in every time, as we can see it's always higher than the BMW. So but in 2018 we can see that the rate is really high. In 2018 it's 13,000, and also for the BMW it's really high, 12,000. so many BMW sold in this year. So the luxury cars sales, from here we can know about the luxury cars. Now if we go to the summary output, we can see the R square. The R square is 0.82, which means the 82%. Now what this 82% means? This means the seven independent variables explains about the more than 2/3 of the variation in the dependent variable, the dependent variable volume. Okay, so here we need 11 observations, and the adjusted R square is 0.40 and the error is here 31709.96. So now if we look inside the significance F, what we understand from the significance F? From the significance F, we understand that the model is significant or not. For getting the significance level, the value is 0.05, which means if the significance value F value is lower than 0.05, then the model is significant. But here the value is 0.31, which is higher than the 0.05, so the model is not significant. We can also know the confidence level from the significance. If we check the significance level for all values, the p value, here we can see that for growth the significance is 0.93, for passenger car sales 0.76, for luxury car 0.72, for Perodua 0.72 as well, for Proton 0.30, for Mercedes 0.71, and for BMW 0.74. so every value is higher than 0.05, so the model is not significant at all. So now if we look inside the coefficient value, the coefficient value is the value of the intercept, growth, and the all coefficient values. The intercept coefficient value is 1612752.254, which means this is the place where the line of best fit is intercepting with y-axis, and we can see the growth and everything from this intersection point. And as well as we can see the coefficients of other variables, growth, passenger cars, luxury cars, Perodua, Proton, Mercedes-Benz, and BMW. We can see that some variables value have positive values and some have the negative values. Like for growth it's positive, for the luxury car sales it's also positive, and for Mercedes-Benz it's negative, but for BMW it's positive. Now what's this positive and negative means? These negative and positive values explains about the behavior of that variable. For example, we have the positive efficient for the growth. We can see this is positive, which means for each 1 unit in growth, this will be place per year how much sales will go up. So this positive and negative value explains us about the ratio. From the growth, from passenger car sales, we can know about the ratio. So if we see inside the scatter plot, okay, if we see inside here, we can see the more details of the plot, scatter plot. Here we have growth, passenger car sales, luxury car sales, and so on. And we have the regression line and the line, a linear line, and we can also see the equations, which is y is equal to 0.0251x plus 3598.6. So here the r square is 0.0281. So if we make it bigger, we can also see so many things like regression line and the sales. Here's the percentage we can see, and here so many equations we can see. So from here we can understand the regression chart. And if now we talk about the equation, the final equation here is the volume. For the volume is V naught. Here V naught refers to the intercept this value plus V1 into growth plus V into in passenger car sales annually plus V3 into luxury car sales annually plus the examples V4 Perodua into V4 plus V5 into Proton plus V6 into Mercedes-Benz plus V7 into BMW. So these values we need to put the negative values and the positive values as well as, and then we need to multiply, and so the sign will change and we can get the exact amount of the answer. So this is the main equation of this regression table. So thank you everyone for watching the regression chart. From the regression chart we already know about everything, and this is all about the Malaysian automotive industry. So now from the report we will know further. So for the report the link is given below, and for the other information please notify me, and thank you for watching this video.